what it really boils down to is when you have something that is powerful and you know it can help you and your family and you can help other people and their families, you almost have an obligation to help
Mm.
share that with other
Wow.
people. And not doing that is very selfish.
How are you, brother?
I'm good, Ellis. How you doing, man?
Doing awesome, man. Dude, so tell me what you thought about what I just showed, man. How relevant, how serious is what I'm talking about there to building your thought leadership platform?
Listen, it's big, and I think the most important thing for me is really understanding the significance of the role you play. Because I used to look at people and just assume they were like trying to be gurus, right? It's like, oh, look at these guys with the podcasts and all these things. They're trying to be these gurus, and what it really boils down to is when you have something that is powerful and you know it can help you and your family and you can help other people and their families, you almost have an obligation to help
Mm.
share that with other
Wow.
people. And not doing that is very selfish. So I'm a firm believer that if you've put yourself in a position to take whatever it is, but in this case, we're talking about real estate investing, and if this is a tool that you've used to help you and your family to create the lifestyle you want, the money that you're looking for, flexibility in your schedule, and you've created these things for you and your family, but you're not willing to share it with other people, um, I just think it's missed opportunity. So I'm a firm believer in that. I believe in sharing, and it's not about being famous. It's not about being a guru. It's not about any of these other things. It's simply about attracting that into your life and being a pillar for that, helping other people do the same thing. And that's what I see my role as. So I think just that mindset, just a little shift. It's not really about you. It's really about them and helping other people. That's powerful. And if you empower yourself like that, I think you'd be in a position to want to help more people.
And John, that's excellent, man. I do think too. A lot of what keeps people sometimes is say, "Well, I'm not there yet. Like I'm not where I want to be, right? So I don't want to be the thought leader because I'm not where I want to be." Listen, are you where you want to be yet, John?
No, at all.
I'm not where I want to be yet, but I have learned enough where I can help some people because I'm a few steps farther in a few areas. There are people in my mastermind that have more wealth than me, the more real estate than me. They are better experts in other areas, but I know a few things that I can help them on too. For example, thought leadership, right? So you don't have to be where you ultimately want to be in order to start this. You just need to be a few steps ahead and be teaching people what you're learning as you go. That's literally what John and I are doing here. We haven't mastered this marketing thing yet. We know a few things that are helping us in our business that we want to give you today. All of you have that as well in your business. And so, I love that, John. Thank you so much for that thought, man. So, bro, let's get in because you are one of the thought leaders when it comes to marketing and real estate. Why? Because he has a podcast called Marketing Insights. Actually, what is that official title? I want to make sure I get that right, John.
Yes, Target Market Insights, the multifamily marketing show.
Yep. So, I mean, what a perfect title, right? So John has set himself up as a leader, as a thought leader for real estate investors in the multifamily space who want help in marketing. And so, John, we only got we don't have a ton of time today. So we got a couple guests coming on today, but the thing I wanted to ask you, man, was I want to talk about standing out in the marketplace. Like you're interviewing different marketers, you're learning this as a marketer. What are you doing right now to first I want to talk about standing out, attracting new leads, and then I want to talk about capturing and nurturing. But talk to us first just about like how to get attention right now in a very noisy, very red ocean environment that we're in, multifamily, real estate, etc.
Well, I think first of all, you have to understand who you serve. And one of the things that you do extremely well is you got really clear on who you serve. We can all say, hey, we're looking for passive investors, right? Passive investors who are accredited, who've got, $100,000 to invest in a deal. That's easy. How do we connect with those people? How do we engage with those people? And who are you uniquely positioned to win with? And I think that's the thing that we don't talk a lot about. I tell a lot of my coaching clients that listen, I may have more experience than you and more knowledge than you, but there are people out there who will want to do business with you more than me for other reasons. Maybe it's because of, your background. Maybe it's because of the city you live in. Maybe it's because of the career that you grew up in. Maybe it's lifestyle driven. But we have different connections to people for different reasons, right? And that's one of the things. And when people tell you to start with friends and family, it's because they have a unique connection to you that other folks won't have. So those are the things that you want to understand. So when you talk about standing out in a sea of sameness, part of it is understanding where can you connect. The other thing is you got to be your authentic self. You have to bring yourself to the table. Why would somebody want to do business with you? If you come out and you're a cookie cutter approach and you're just like everybody else, well, you're just like everybody else.
Yep.
Why would I pick you over the next guy? Like, there's no reason to. So I think you want to understand who you're connecting with, what you have that is compelling to these people, and make sure you highlight those things. And it should be true, it should be authentic, it should be who you are, the things that you value. And I think you want to share that with people. And when you do that, you attract your tribe. And that will allow you to be around the kind of people that want your help, that you can help, and makes it a lot easier to grow.
So, John, let's go on that. And if you got question, guys, about this specifically, type in the chat. I mean, that's why John's here. We want to answer what you're dealing with. I'm just going to keep, this is what I see, so I'll ask what I have. But if you have some specific things, then type it in the chat. How do you help your coaching clients or even yourself think about connecting your own story and what you just shared with the things that we're actually going to put online? Like, how does that transpire, or how does that equate to content, right? Like, how do you work through that?
So, one of the best things you can do is, first of all, get out of your head. It's not about you. All right, write that down. It's not about you, it's about them. So, the most important thing I can teach you in the time we have is it is always about your, and I'm going to call it avatar, but if we were selling Mountain Dew, I would say your target, consumer. In this case, it might be a target investor, but it's always about them. What do they need? What are they going through? There are four things, four emotional triggers that each and every one of us feels. There are fears, our frustrations, our goals, and our desires. If you really want to connect with someone, you have to have something, a message, content that highlights one of those four things. Help me alleviate my fears. Help me alleviate my frustrations. Help me reach my goals. Help me reach my desires. If you can help me with one of those four things, now you've got some compelling content. So think about that from, I call it your avatar, but think about that from your avatar's perspective. What are their fears? What are their frustrations? What are their goals? What are their desires? And specifically when it comes to investing, and we can say real estate investing, but investing or finances in general. So once you start to break it down, and we have a method and a process for this, but once you break it down, now the content becomes much easier. If you're talking about people and helping them overcome their fears with investing, well, what are some of their fears? Well, one of the fears might be, hey, I don't want to invest in a wrong deal. All right. And I don't know that much about real estate. So I don't want to invest in the wrong deal. Okay, well, how do we help educate them? How do we show them how to navigate real estate? Well, they don't know us. Maybe we need to teach them about us and the experience we do have and the team that we've put together. What are the frustrations? Well, hey, I see the stock market is going crazy, and I know some people who are real estate, but again, I'm just frustrated because I got this money and I don't know where to put it. And everybody says good stuff, but I don't really trust them. So again, you got to get into their head and create content for them. Too many people, I would say 80 to 90% of the people I see, they make content that they want to make. Let me show y'all this picture of me working out. Let me show you, this video of my new car or whatever, right? And subconsciously, there might be other things they want to communicate. They're showing you, hey, I'm successful, or hey, I'm healthy. I make good life decisions and I have good habits, whatever. Maybe there's some things there. But most of them are just posting because they just want to talk about whatever they want to talk about. If you have the intentionality to focus on what other people are looking for, helping them solve their problem, helping them understand more about what it is you do, how you help them, alleviating their fears and frustrations, helping them reach towards their goals and desires, you now position yourself as a trusted ally and somebody they want to do business with or at least want to learn more about. Does that make
John,
sense?
yeah, that's an amazing point. 100%. I mean, I love to hear what other people are thinking or hearing from this. While I'm waiting for some responses, let me ask you this: how do you constantly reassess that your content is what people are wanting? Like, how do you, you're putting some stuff out. You're like, oh, right now people, worried about the stock market. But how are you constantly reassessing? Hey, am I putting out engaging content that people are actually wanting to hear and listen to right now?
You listen. You just listen. What are people asking about? And the way you could ask that question back is, what do people want to hear from me today? What are their concerns today, this week? Right now, for instance, as we're doing this here live, we're approaching Memorial Day weekend. Well, guess what? This is the time of year where school is wrapping up. So, as a father of two young children, summer camps and things like that become important. What are we gonna do for the summer, right? Summer vacations. Like, this is the time to breathe if you've got little ones who are taking a break. Maybe you got some kids who are graduating and going through a transition in life, and you want to make the most of the summer. Last summer, we couldn't do much. This summer, people are trying to make up for it. So, what about that lifestyle, the flexibility? What do they want to know? Right. So, I might talk something about that. But you really want to put yourself in their shoes. And when you're creating content, I would say this is the other thing. And Josh, I'm going to answer this together. Josh has a question. He says, what if you do not want or like to market through podcasts, webinars, YouTube, etc., but you prefer more of an old school approach that allows you to really get to know a person and what their goals are? So I want to take that question and what I was just talking about and put them together. The goal of content, again, I'm not trying to be a guru. I could care less if I get 100 likes. I don't think I've ever gotten 100 likes. So the goal of content for me is never about promotions like that. It's actually to create an invitation to have a conversation. I'm going to say that again. The goal of content for me is to have an invitation to have a conversation, because it is about the relationships. It is about getting to know people. It is about understanding their goals. It is about understanding their desires, their fears, their frustrations. You can't do that in a blanket statement. So you're going to have some people who a message resonates with, where they feel like you're talking to them directly. And you're going to have people who might see something and it doesn't apply to them and they just move past it. But if you're posting consistently and you really understand who your target avatar is, you should be able to come up with the message that they're going to see at some point, or like, man, that's exactly what I'm going through, or that is what I'm feeling. And they might like that post or leave a comment. And that gives me an opportunity to have a conversation with them. Right. So it truly is about
Yeah, I
building
love that point.
relationships. Yeah,
The
it's
the
about
point of
building
the content
relationships.
is to have the conversation. To Josh's fear, there is, I'm going to create this content and miss out on the personal connection. That's actually that's not why, dude. The reason we do this is so that I can actually more intimately connect with the people that want to join our community, right? So we can go on trips and have these experiences. But if I'm never putting out content on YouTube, on podcasts, I never connect with them. I never answer their problems. I never invite them into the conversation that I can help them with. And so I think that's an amazing point, John. It's not actually to distance us from our folks. It's actually to figure out, how do we draw in the most intimate people that we want to do life and business with. And if you're an investor and you're trying to raise money for your deals, Hunter told us this last week. Guys, you only need 200 investors to do a massive things in real estate. You could probably talk with 200 people,
Yeah.
right? And so it's not to never talk with your clients or investors. It's just to be able to find the right people that are going to be committed to you for a lifetime. And I think John makes an excellent point when he says the point of content is to have a conversation. I love that, man. Um, so John, what are you doing on the what's next? And you're just from a business standpoint of, okay, you're attracting leads. What does that look like for you on the second step? What, like, just from a marketing standpoint, walk us through really quickly, man, kind of a high level, your nurture campaign, so that we have an idea.
Yeah, so I mean, marketing automations is big, and one of the biggest things that I've realized is, like, for instance, let's take this right here, right? So we're talking, and I want to be real practical, and tactical, just so you understand the nuances of how some of the things work. Because right here, we're having this conversation. There may be somebody listening. Cameron, by the way, what's up, man? It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. There may be
Cameron showing
somebody
you some
listening.
love.
There may be somebody who is who's listening to this right now, and they may say, "Hey, John, love what you had to say. Would love to learn more about you. You mentioned you do some coaching and things like that. Maybe they want to learn more, right?" So the challenges in the past, that person has to reach out. One, they have to, you know, they have to muster up the energy or the need or the want to reach out and say, "Hi, John, I heard you present at Ellis's event and wanted to learn more about you," right? So there's a whole thing that they've got to overcome to even take that initial step. If they do that, then we get into a little bit of conversation. But typically that person is ready. For you to send an email or to reach out or call or text and say, "Hey, I heard you speak here." Um, they're usually ready for the next step. I'm looking for coaching, or I'm looking to partner with you. I want to invest in your deal. They're typically ready for them to reach out. Most people are not ready immediately. So they might like what I have to say right now, but they need more time to get to know me, to learn more about what we're doing. They don't want to talk yet. And that's just the reality. People just don't want to
Yeah.
talk. They don't want to feel like they're about to get sold or whatever the
Yep.
case may be. So, one of the natural things you want to do is create what I call a lead magnet. And I didn't name this. This is just industry stuff. But Elite Magnet, I'll give you a great example. Right now, we have a sample deal on our website. So you can go to casmoncapital.com/sample deal, and you can download our Lead Magnet, which breaks out just a rough idea of what a sample deal looks like. Whether you're looking to be an active investor and you want to know, like, okay, what kind of stuff should I put in my deal package, or you're passive, but maybe you don't know what some of these terms mean, or you don't really know what the IRR breakout looks like. And you just want to get a sense of, like, can I see a deal that's not live so I can really process this first? That's a great resource there. From there, we do have some follow-ups. You'll get some automated emails that will give you more context on the sample deal, what to look for. You'll get some podcast episodes that we highly recommend
Wait,
based
wait,
on.
wait, 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 wait,
Yeah.
wait, wait. So you're telling me they don't download your sample deck and then you send them an email that says, "Hey, schedule a call with me to see if you want to invest in my deal."
No, so listen, you want to always allow people to know the next step in the
Right.
journey, right? So in that next step is up to each individual, but most people are not going to be ready to hop on a call. Most
Yep.
people are not going to be ready to jump into a deal. So as you mentioned the word nurture, as the term implies, it's about building a relationship. Now, we can do that at a mass level and educate people, but at some point the switch has to change, right? Like, I can only put out so much. I can only send you so many emails before it's a real relationship, because right now it's one-sided. So at some point, that person needs to pick up the phone or respond to the email and say, "Hey, I've been following you for a while, or I've been listening to this, or I have a question about that." And then we can engage in that relationship building. But
I
for
just think
me,
that's
it's a
such a
great way
good
to do
point,
it at
man. And
scale.
yeah, and we'll wrap up here. John, this has been awesome. I just think I want to make that point. Of kind of joking to think that, or jokingly ask you that question, because just because someone opts into your lead magnet or listens to your show or whatever does not mean yet that they're ready to buy or that they're ready to get on the phone with you. Like you think about this from a dating standpoint, And so I love that example, man. If you're sending them even more resources that makes you a thought leader, that shows you as an expert, that builds that trust, the audio, the video, all of the things that if they watch, which by the way, you can track on your CRM, if they watched it, if they opened it, how much time they spent on there, right? And so you can see how warm they really are, how cold they are, right? If they've opened everything, then hey, it's probably time to pick up the phone and say, hey man, looks like you've been consuming a lot of our content. Are you looking for coaching? Or if they opt into your stuff and never opened your emails, which you can track, it's probably not the best time to say you want to sign up for coaching, right? Because they
Or
still
you can
haven't
follow
seen
up and
you as
say,
an
"Hey,
expert.
man, you signed up for this and you haven't opened up any emails. Are you
Yep.
getting them?"
Yep.
So
Yep.
there's some stuff there, but
Yep.
yeah, you're spot on. There's a way to do it, and I would say that it's a relationship, whether it's dating, whatever, however you want to look at it. There in marketing, we call them marketing funnels, and I, I have to first be aware that you exist, right? So any product, service, I have to be aware that you exist. Then I have to consider you. Then I have to actually try it out. And then I can become a fan or a loyalist. But most people are in the consideration step, and you have to give them the information they need to consider because they're going to make that decision, not you. You don't get to tell them to invest with you. They get to decide whether or not they want to do business with you.
John, where can people go, man, to learn about you, your company, and how you can help folks?
Check out the sample deal. I mean, that's really the best way to kind of come in, learn a little bit more about the way we think, the way we operate. You'll get some follow-up emails from there. Casmoncapital.com/sample deal.
That's awesome, man. If you would type that in the chat before you get out of here so
For
people
sure.
know how to get in touch with you, man. I just want to say thanks so much for coming and serving our audience. Really has been a blessing, man. I've loved getting to know you. We've got to meet a couple times at some different in-person events. And so hopefully, man, we'll see each other again. We'll see each other again at some future events.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.